Well, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
How are we feeling on this Valentine's week?
Oh, my love tank is full.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't either.
That's, yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
okay.
let that be.
Yep.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, so we decided this week.
I should point out my love tank is like half gallon. It's not that big.
That doesn't make it any better. Okay, good. So everyone's got that in their minds, and
Love it.
so do we.
Love it.
And yeah, this week, excuse me, we're taking on some Valentine's Day and some love stuff.
We are.
Right? Yeah. So a little all across the years, across the universe. Before we do that, I have a special report though.
Oh,
Oh God.
well,
What?
this is shocking
This
for
feels
Aaron
like when
and
there's
I.
breaking news and you're like, what's it going to be? An insurrection? I'm so sweaty.
No insurrection.
Okay.
Just a special report that this past week, Michael turned, he had a birthday, and a few of us went out to a nice dinner on a Wednesday night, and, fun was had. It was great. When the bill came, it was a significant bill because it was at Django. Heath said, I'll take care of it. And then all you guys can, Venmo me. And we're like, great, perfect. But I think it was either like Brett or Travis, because the bill was so big. They were like, oh, you okay with that? And Heath says, I've got money to spend in here.
I gotta say it.
And then after he said it, the glee on his face was, I don't know if we've ever seen him that happy, Aaron, and I
Yeah.
just felt like I needed to share that because
I
it was
like that.
pop culture related.
Yes.
He also said, I've been waiting my whole life to say that. So it felt like a big moment.
That is no wonder your love tank is full.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very, very happy man
So
on Wednesday
we
night.
all now we need to get a situation where you can say big mistake and hold up something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're getting there.
Yeah.
You are,
That's fantastic.
you're living your life. You're a model for everyone.
I mean, I've said it before, but not really under the right circumstances. It's like
This
I'm
was
at
the right
like
circumstance.
Quick Trip, and they're like, "All right, that'll be $8.32," and I'm like, "I've got money to spend in here," and they're like, "Great, it's not that much money."
Yeah. They
This
give
was-
us the $8. So
Yeah. This was significant.
This was
so
significant, yeah.
it fit. It fit well.
Yeah.
And he got to feel like a big timer.
That's amazing.
Therein ends my special report.
Wow, that's in my top 5 favorite special reports ever. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Should we roll right into unmitigated gall then?
Yeah, because, after that, there's nowhere to go but down.
No.
Because that was a high.
In the first 3 minutes of the episode,
Exactly.
listeners. So
We
there you
had
go.
it. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, so we should just move into gall. Maybe, Heath, I know you're riding high off of
That's
that,
all right.
but can you come down and give us some unmitigated gall?
Yeah.
I'm always ready to come down.
Okay, great. You were on theme this week with the Valentines and the love and the sex and all the things.
He is on point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's not really my unmitigated gall. I'm
Okay.
going to share the unmitigated gall of Kelly Clarkson
Oh!
on behalf of America.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah, she has a song on her new album called "I Hate Love," which is it's a good song. It is Steve Martin plays the banjo on it.
Oh.
And it's kind of it's a peppy, upbeat song, but it's not. But the lyrical content is very. She got a divorce a couple years ago, and it really kind of reflects that. And
Oh.
one of the lines that sticks in my head is, it says something about The Notebook, or refers to the movie The Notebook, and it said, "Love isn't really like The Notebook; it's more like it's complicated." So you can keep gossing, and I'll take Steve Martin, but it like rhymes, and it's all like set to music, and it actually it works. It really works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a good song. And then again, if you hate love, you've got Kelly Clarkson has an entire array of songs you can listen to on this fine Valentine's Day about hating love and getting over assholes and dealing with dickheads and all that stuff.
It's important to note that your husband is in the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus, as
Yes.
we've mentioned before, and they are doing an entire Kelly Clarkson themed show.
Yeah. I
can't wait.
coming up.
They're not singing "I Hate Love." I've read through the list of songs, but,
They're
it's still
doing
worth
positive
going to.
stuff. Yeah.
There's a couple. I think I'm mostly curious. I think they're doing "Since You've Been Gone," which I don't know how to do that in a choral arrangement.
Interesting.
So,
Maybe
yeah.
they'll have a soloist or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Maybe Brett will solo.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
here's hoping.
All right, Kelly
So, yeah.
Clarkson, you've been notified.
Good for her.
I can go next.
Yeah.
With some unmitigated gall, which is our first male reply to a rejection for Midwest Weird. So let me first, for those of you who don't know, explain Midwest Weird. So we at Broads and Books Productions, we are launching this summer an audio literary magazine, which means it's going to be a podcast that features fiction and nonfiction by Midwestern writers. And we're specifically looking for weird fiction and nonfiction, whatever that means. That can mean a lot of different things. Going into this, Aaron and I had been made aware that when you have a literary magazine or a press or publisher or something, there is a phenomenon that happens that when because obviously everyone's going to get more submissions than they can accept. So you have to send rejections at some point. Sometimes just because you have too many, sometimes because they deserve it. We've heard this reputation that often male writers will... Fucking men, when they get a rejection, will sometimes reply with either snark or meanness, even hate, because, that's the way the world works these days. It's also important to note that generally writing protocol is when you get rejected, you just take it and you move on. You just
move on.
You don't reply. You don't do anything that just clutters up inboxes, let alone being a nice person.
Yeah.
However, that didn't happen to our fella this week.
It sure didn't.
So I'd like to read a reenactment of the email that he sent because we rejected his work. First
good
off,
reason.
The story was shit, but we didn't say that. It was just a general reply that we wouldn't be using it, and we always encourage people like, listen, this is very subjective. Please keep writing. Keep moving.
It's kind. Before you read the response, I do want to say I was putting into the universe that it was shit.
Okay.
I just want to put that out there that I was feeding that energy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So this fella, he wrote back and he said, quote, "New fastest rejection record now set. Going to be hard to beat. I'll have to write something really bad or at least worse than this."
Couple things. One, the fact that you're keeping track of your rejections tells me that we were on point.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Second of all, if you would like it to be faster, we can make that happen. Because I knew within the first sentence.
Yeah, and we usually give some time just to make sure that we're thinking accurately and right and nicely and all the things.
And you're right, sir. It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
What was the time if you remember?
In terms of like how...
like from when he submitted to when you told him
at least
no
5
dice.
days.
Yeah, I think...
Oh.
Probably even
I was
week.
thinking like 10 minutes.
Oh my God, no! That's the thing!
I was like, were you guys just monitoring the inbox? They were like, oh, this is crap. Bye, buddy.
To be fair, I do think that we're quicker than a lot of publications.
Absolutely, we are. Because we're starting out.
Yes.
We don't get the hundreds of submissions that others often do. And as I said, we're very nice. And when... what typically happens, usually, like I said, is you don't reply to rejections. And often when you're a woman, you just internalize that shit and feel like terrible that you're the awfulest writer. Not this fella.
No. He couldn't understand how.
Certainly, I mean, he's been rejected before, like in social settings. Certainly, like this couldn't be the first time he's ever been rejected.
That's what it feels like, is that he's been rejected on Tinder a lot, and he always says something like, "Well, I didn't like you anyway," or something like that.
It made me want to respond and be like, "Well, let's try and beat it. Submit something else.
Yeah,
submit it right now." And I'll show
and
you a
the thing
fast
is,
time.
this was pretty mild. I'm assuming we're going to get more. And the thing is, when we started this, I predicted that this would happen.
You did.
And I reached out to our own Heath Smith, and I said that when we do start getting this stuff, we would like to give you a special role wherein you respond. You read some of these for Midwest Weird, and you respond accordingly. And he said, I would love to do this.
Yes.
I would love to do that.
I think it's going to be great.
So
it's coming.
That's something to look forward to, folks.
I like that.
Yeah. And so, that's gall. That was not a surprise. But I was so delighted. I have to say, I emailed you right away and said, we've done it. We did it.
We made A man hates us. You're going to have to come a lot harder and a lot faster than that, sir, to get me off my game.
Because we thrive on it.
Yeah. I thrive on your tears.
They fill the love tank.
They do. That's what my love tank is made of. Your tears. Sir. Okay. Well, my unmitigated gall this week is feet. Because
he's making weird noises too. Like his love tank is full.
We are gonna get some new listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm hashtag feet.
In our SEO, foot fetish. It's been nice the last couple weeks here.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I have dumb ideas, and I can admit that. And I was like, you know what? I'd like to get outside more and walk. Mm-hmm. And so I had tried this. Now, this is taking you deep into my foot journey, but I got some new inserts a few months ago because I have what is known as a Morton's neuroma in my foot, which causes intense pain if I don't have an insert to spread it out.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Okay.
Super, sexy and, it's a good conversation
and just
starter.
Means you can just go out and
I got a Morton's neuroma.
Real flirty.
Yeah, you might have a belly ring. I got a Morton's neuroma. So, equal.
So I see you in the summer just frolicking in the grass with your Morton's neuroma.
Just living it up.
Yep.
But not without a shoe because that's how it gets set off. Yep. Okay. So I got these new inserts, and they have been wonderful. Like, I haven't had a flare up in months. I'm in love with my things, right? So I was like, this is gonna be great. I can walk again. I can take walks. So I put them in shoes that they fit in the best. Because if you don't have inserts, sometimes it raises your foot up, and other tennis shoes don't fit as well. Mm-hmm. So I put them in a pair that I wear frequently, and I was like, this is great. So 2 days in a row, take a walk, fine. Third day, nice out. Mike and I set off, and I'm like, oh, I feel something kind of rubbing at the back of my foot. But it wasn't, when I tell you that I wasn't in pain, I was not in pain. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we get home, and we were trying to squeeze this in before we had to take Mason to swimming. So I walk in our front door, and I'm going to kick off my shoes so I can use the bathroom and basically get in the car to go to swimming. And I look down, and the amount of blood that has pooled on the back of my shoe and foot, it looks like I have a severe cut. And in fact, that's what I thought. I was like, how did I get cut? How did I not feel this? I kind of start to panic because I've taken my shoe off and it's actively bleeding. I'm bleeding on our front rug.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm trying to wash my foot in the bathroom before we go because it's covered. The inside of my shoe and the top of my shoe ruined. It's just soaked in. I'm like, I don't understand what happened. So we're on our way to swimming, and I'm trying to still figure this out in the car. And I realize, oh my God, it was like a blister that rubbed, and it was bleeding the whole time I was walking, and I didn't notice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is your foot dead?
I think it might be.
Did your Morton's neuroma just kill it?
I think that my whole entire foot is dead, and I don't have any nerves in it anymore. I am so perplexed. Mike was when I tell you, he was at first concerned, and then I feel like alarmed. Because he just sort of went quiet, like, how did you not feel that? It's like it's an enormous amount of blood. And I was like, I know. And he's like, okay. And
is this a part of Morton's neuroma that you lose feeling in your feet?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
So, needless to say, fuck you very much, shoes. Cool walk. I was just supposed to be doing something nice. And then the next day I wake up, I can't even get my slipper on without a Band-Aid because it's so inflamed.
Oh my
because
God.
obviously I clearly went down to the nubbins on the back of my foot. I was going to say epidural layer, and I thought that was worse.
Nope. Nubbins is where you went, and that was unnecessary.
So, it felt so good, and then it was just so wrong. And that just sums up every time I try and be proactive about being outside.
Just take a walk for your mental health and then not have your body
and not be
betray you.
Bleeding profusely to the point that Mike's like, I don't know if we need to retrace our steps. Did you bleed all the way and all the way
There might have
back?
been a trail.
Yeah. It's like you're just...
Now somebody's going to think that Mike murdered you and
Yeah.
that was the trail.
Yeah, that was the trail. DNA everywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Do you still think the foot fetish crowd hung in?
Oh,
for
sure.
that?
I feel like we got some new
They
people.
were into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, probably. Yeah.
They really like the nubbins.
It's going to have to be a very specific listener that would like my feet because they are something. Like, owl talons sort of come to mind. Like,
Someone's going to leave a comment there and be like, photo or it didn't happen.
yeah. Oh, I have photo proof, but
Excellent.
That's you're gonna have to.
I don't want to
subscribe on Patreon
Okay.
to get that.
Oh, this is how we start our
Yeah.
Patreon, so we can
That's
sell
premium.
Aaron's feet
Yep.
pics.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my god, my feet are hideous. Yep. So,
Someone's gonna love him. Someone is gonna love him so hard.
but also this week, you and I had this conversation where I was
Yeah.
like, I feel so alive.
Walks
I'm gonna
are
do it every day,
great.
and then
And then you actively bled all over Norwalk. Yeah.
so
Well.
we'll keep posting. I'm gonna try again next week.
Yep.
We'll see
Yep.
how it goes.
I feel like that was very appropriate for Valentine's and love. You
Yeah.
know, I mean that.
It was alarming. Like, Mike and I have been together for a while, and so to have him go quiet and know that I think he was really thinking like, wow, she might be a psychopath. Like, she has no feelings. Like,
Yep.
I'm married to a sociopath. Like,
I'm surprised he didn't go robot. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God! All this time, Aaron's been a robot.
yeah, well, he might have in
Yeah.
those dark thoughts
He
because
might
he was
have.
pretty quiet on the
Yeah.
way to swimming.
He's like, I got to recalibrate my whole life.
Yeah,
now.
he's like, this
Yeah.
is so alarming. I don't know what to say. Like, well, how did she do that?
Wow. On that note, on that bloody, bloody note, shall we move into our
Yes.
Valentine's and love? And I think each of us came at this from a different perspective. Am
Sure
I right?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe when we each start, we'll have to kind of give a little context.
Yeah, because I wrote a little poem for each one too.
Oh, I did not see that coming. Okay. You doing haikus over there?
Actually, I did limericks at first, and then I pared it down because I was like, these are too long. What have I done?
Okay.
Lost my way a little this week.
Okay.
Love will do that to you. Love will do that to you.
It will.
Valentine's Day will do that too.
Heath, do you want to start us off?
Yes, please.
I will. When I think of love, I think of a woman named Delilah.
Oh, hey there, Delilah.
No, Delilah, the radio talk show host, who's been on the air for, I don't know,
forgot about
700
her.
years maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so not only is Delilah her name, Delilah is the name of her show, so she might be a narcissist.
But then so is Sally Jesse Raphael
Yeah.
and Oprah
Yeah.
and Maury and all of them.
And actually her birthday's this week. Her
Oh.
birthday is February 15th, and she'll be 64.
Get it.
So, yeah, I would have, as long as she's been on the radio, I would have guessed that she was probably a little bit older than that. But
Can I admit I've never heard Delilah?
oh, okay,
Okay, so
right.
I'm coming at it cold. So
Wow.
yeah.
so introduce her to me.
All right.
Yeah.
The show has been in its current format since 1984, so about 40 years.
No need to change something that's not broken.
Yeah, and she's got a real kind of soothing and breathy delivery, and her voice reminds me of the actress Wendy McClendon Covey. She was in
Yeah.
Reno 911 and Bridesmaids
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Goldbergs, yeah. And
That's
it's,
a very good comparison. Yeah.
and it's just like people will call in, with problems and stuff, and she'll kind of give them advice, and lots of times she'll just go on for like several minutes of like, I want you to know you're good enough. Take a time to just breathe. Sit back and relax. You do so much.
Also, can we start Heath in radio? Like I want to show where Heath just does that.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Or
that.
he does like something on the Calm app, like the
Yeah,
same stories,
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for like the Calm app, I think I would like something that is just like, those bitches don't know what's gonna hit them.
Yes.
Karma is coming. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Watch out, hoes. So yeah, back to Delilah.
Yeah.
Back to my first career, not my second one.
Okay.
The show airs from 7 to midnight every evening, and it's on the radio. I don't know what station it's on. It's on all over the country, all over
Okay.
North America. During that time, Delilah will she'll read letters and emails from listeners, but the foundation of the show is really kind of the callers. People will call in. and then tell Delilah their problem, which is not exclusively, but is often man troubles. It's usually a woman calling in with some man or family troubles, you know. She's always very supportive and telling the callers some variation of "you are enough," you know, that kind of thing.
Wow.
And she always dedicates then a song to them, like something, you know, from, you know, like AM Gold area, or like, you know, Celine Dion stuff, you know, some sort of that's kind of her wheelhouse. And sometimes people just request that Delilah play a certain song, you know, and I feel like there's simpler ways to like hear that song than to call Delilah and ask her to play it on the radio. But, you know, I mean, I guess, you know, everyone does things their own way. Like, I can't tell you how to listen to music. I can, but you don't have to listen to me. And some of Delilah's fans have listening parties, apparently, and they call themselves the Friday Night Girls.
Okay, that's unoriginal, first off.
Yeah.
You can do better than that, Friday Night Girls.
Yeah.
And she often mentions these groups and even gives them prizes. Which sounds like a bribe to me. That sounds like a bribe to me. Like, this sounds like payola, like from back in the old days of the radio when record labels would pay radio stations to play certain songs.
But also, should we get in on that? Should we become a listening party?
Yeah.
And see what free stuff we can get?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, listeners, if you want us to talk about things, just send us a check.
Oh my
and the
God!
topic.
Yes,
Done.
we can do like
Done.
Delilah.
Yeah. To be clear, your check does not preclude what our opinion's going to be, but we will talk about what everything you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
No publicity is bad publicity.
Just make it out to cash.
Yeah.
Send it our way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so sometimes she speaks to them on air. She'll like call them up and like, you know, they'll interact on air, which I feel like it could really go bad really, really easily. Like it just seems like it would be, you know, I don't know if these ladies like fangirl out over Delilah or how they respond to this, but it seems the opposite of like the soothing vibe she's trying to put out. Someone being like, "Oh my God, I love you, Delilah."
Yeah.
So another regular segment that she has is called the Delilah Dilemma.
Oh, alliteration. Look at you, Delilah.
Where she helps the listener solve, again, often man-related problems.
Okay.
Again, the show's most popular with the ladies between the ages of 25 and 54. And like as many as 8 million people listen to it at least once a week. Like it's a thing. It is a big thing.
How have I not? Okay.
She's also got a big following among Christian radio listeners.
Really? Oh, that's why. That's why.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is a bit of foreshadowing for this next piece of information I have about Delilah.
Oh,
She's been married 4 times and divorced 3.
Oh, there it is.
I thought you were going to say she went down the QAnon rabbit hole or something. Okay.
Nope. God was just like, nope, it's time to move on from this one.
It's time to move on.
She does have 15 kids, though.
What?
Yeah, 11 of them are adopted, but still, that's a lot of kids.
That's like Gem and the Holograms level. That's too many
Running a
kids.
foster care program.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's got that radio money.
Good
She's
Lord.
got to pay for them kids.
Apparently.
Wow.
And I remember Delilah a lot when I was I listened to it a lot when I was a kid because my mom would have it on in the car, and it didn't seem to help her much. But it always made me feel relaxed.
So it serves some good.
Yeah. I mean, she seems like the kind of person that would help like a lost kid find their parents, you know? But she's also,
Or escape their parents.
it's also got a very, the subtext is very, like, look at all the good I do. Like, that's kind of, like, yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Ew.
she knows, she feels strongly that she's bringing light and love to the world.
Do you know what she looks like? Because I'm getting a vibe, an image in my head, but I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't. I feel like she looks like Linda Evans in big sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way she never takes the sunglasses off.
Yeah, I'm feeling like, what was the name of the Misfits lead singer?
Oh, Phyllis Gabor?
I feel like it's a Phyllis Gabor type looking person. Oh,
okay.
I was not expecting that. Okay. I mean, she's well coiffed.
Yeah.
She's put together. She looks like, she might fall down the QAnon rabbit hole, but
She
other
does.
than that,
she looks like that could be the poster child.
Yeah.
For that age bracket, that's,
Or the next HBO documentary about a cult leader.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff.
God, that was a throwback for me. I haven't thought about her in a long time.
You know, and
Somehow I missed that whole phenomenon.
when you think of love, think of Delilah. Or not.
Well, okay. Well,
Depends on how you
it kinda
feel about
feels
love.
like
How do you
it.
feel
Yeah.
about love?
Yeah. Yeah. Shall I go next?
Sure.
Please
All right.
do.
Well, my approach to this bonus episode was very haphazard. I've got a little bit of marketing. I've got a little bit of couples. I've got a movie that I really love.
See? Great.
I'm going to start with commercials.
I love it. Okay.
Huh?
Because one thing I fucking hate
Oh.
every Valentine's Day, but also every Christmas, every real holiday, is like all the diamond and jewelry commercials. All of them saying basically buy some shiny things and your girl will just do whatever you want her to do.
Fill your love tank.
Fill that love tank with a shiny diamond. But then beyond that, the idea of like weird marketing expanded beyond this when I started doing a little research. I have some visual aids for everybody.
Ooh, I love a visual aid.
And I would like you to go through these examples, pick out one that really speaks to you, and maybe describe it on air, and we can talk about it.
Oh.
Because there's some doozies in here that don't make a lot of sense, and that are, in some cases, sexist and weird. In some cases, very much.
Okay, I already know the one I want. Oh.
Oh, gosh.
One is even rapey.
Oh, no, that one. This one. I got
There's a rapey context.
Tie the knot with the $10 dinner box.
Then it's just.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No ring, give her wings.
Okay.
I want to discuss, first of all, the Summer's Eve Happy Valentine's Day. Don't forget your V. Your V this Valentine's Day.
So basically, douche the hell out of yourself.
Before you take that
before
strange D
That's
in
right.
your V.
Shoot some chemicals up into your vag for Valentine's Day, and then you might get some love.
Then let him out when he gives you a ring.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
for a, is this a jewelry company?
I guess
Yeah.
so.
And then there's two pictures, and in the first one, the lady has her legs crossed, and then he takes out a ring, a box, opens it for her, and then she uncrosses her legs. So
This has always been the subtext to me of all the diamond and jewelry commercials.
Yeah.
This has just made it text.
Right.
It's just fully like it's just out there.
I feel like they did the lady that did this ad wrong, because the second picture of her with her legs open, I mean, it's the most unflattering thing.
It's very
Like,
unflattering. It looks like hot dogs
Yeah.
outside of the.
what? Because you can't see her feet anymore.
Can't see your feet.
it's
Yeah.
So it's just two
Yeah.
disembodied hot dogs that are supposed to look like legs.
She looks like maybe
Or
an
breadsticks sticking
Yeah.
out
Or
of the Olive
breadsticks.
Garden napkin.
Yes. This is another time to remind you, listeners, that we always include visual aids for our
Yeah.
episodes on Instagram, and we will
Sure
include
do.
all of this because
Sure
you'll
do.
need to really see the visuals to understand what we're
You
saying.
do.
But we're trying to describe them here in the moment
Yes,
to you.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's an amputee. Like they get rings too, right? They do.
But what, you
Maybe.
mean like in between getting the ring and the second one, her feet
Like-
got cut off?
Maybe she
Okay.
went for a walk with an insole, and her feet
Oh,
just fell the fuck off.
shit! Oh, this is your future! Oh,
And you nailed it. 'Cause
no.
you give me a ring and then the legs spread.
I will forget about my lost feet if I have a ring.
I don't know how to make heads or tails of the swatch one.
Right? I
It's a
don't
butt.
understand.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart.
By the way, there were a lot of ads that discovered, oh my god, an upside down heart looks like a butt. And so it was just a lot of like butt imagery.
Yeah.
But this one, it makes no sense because it's butt cheeks. And then it says from the bottom of my heart. And then it's just a watch.
So you're supposed to buy this watch, and then that's from my butt.
I don't.
Heart.
I don't know. Like, are they promoting anal for Valentine's Day? I
Oh.
don't understand.
If you
but-
give me a swatch, I have to do anal?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like it's
That's
good.
what it means. That's what it means.
God damn it. Just one or
I
the
know
other.
lots of people that don't even need the swatch. To
Exactly. Like,
That
you were
would just be a
spending too much
bonus.
money. They will do it at the
Yeah.
drop of a hat or
Uh-huh.
for soup packets.
This one, I feel
Yeah.
like we should address.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This
What
is for Hooters. This Valentine's Day, no ring? Give her wings. Buy 10, get 10. February 14th, wings are free.
Oh.
Because I will put a lot of money on the fact that if you go into Hooters on Valentine's Day, it's full of couples.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
so many couples. Also, I like the look on this because there's a Hooters waitress in the ad. She's holding a platter of wings, and the look on her face says, you are a fucking idiot if you think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's what you think they're looking at? I thought the look on her face was more like, huh?
Yeah.
What am I doing? Where am I?
What's that? These used to be chickens.
You said I was going to be an influencer, right? If I do this?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's rough.
I think maybe my favorite was the Pizza Hut one, where it says, tie the knot with the $10 dinner box. So you're suggesting that your proposal take place over a $10 dinner box that includes a red ruby ring limo. Wait, what? Limo service?
The entire package costs $10,010.
Yeah.
You get a Pizza Hut dinner box, and then you also Pizza Hut's going to do your proposal.
Oh,
You get a
I
red
didn't
ruby
read that
ring,
far.
limo service,
Okay.
flowers, fireworks show, photographer, videographer. There's only 10 packages available, but they're going to make it happen for you.
Okay, well, you're spending all that money, and then you give me a $10 dinner box. Huh.
If somebody spent $10,000 to propose to me, I'd be livid.
Yeah,
I would be like,
livid.
what a waste of money. Like,
Yes.
just buy a nice ring. You know,
And
spend some money
also-
on that. But yeah, like, let's do something else.
Or spend it
with
if
the
you're going to
rest.
get a wedding. Spend it on the wedding.
Yeah.
Don't
What
spend
in
it on the
world?
proposal.
And put Pizza Hut in charge of it?
Yeah, that's no good.
Thank you for making me feel special. You brought in Pizza Hut?
I
The
will
arbiters
say,
of love.
I will say it's definitely not the worst thing that could happen to you. But I think getting proposed to at Applebee's has always been like a nightmare for me. Like,
Have you seen it happen?
I've never seen it happen.
Okay.
I've heard of it happening
Oh,
before,
no.
but I just can't imagine like just sit there like at Applebee's and just someone like getting down on one knee. And I'd just be like, oh God, no.
God, please no. That would denote to me like, oh, you got pregnant accidentally. this is the best I could think of.
I had a coupon.
I had a coupon.
I had a coupon.
It's a Tuesday night. We're getting a special 2-for-1 deal. Time
2
to
for
propose. Time to propose. Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah.
any favorites that jumped out there?
They're all real
really
classic.
good. Yeah,
I kind of want to
really
keep
good.
them.
There were plenty more listeners, and invite you to find your own, because
Yeah.
if there's one thing that says love, it's marketers that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the whole holiday's made up of, right? It's just random things that we're supposed to believe.
In fairness to marketers who don't know what they're doing, as someone who works at an ad agency, people might actually respond to this stuff. Like the general
very
public
true.
may very well.
very true.
respond to
That
it,
is
yeah.
true. It
Yeah.
does get published for a reason.
And
Yeah.
that's depressing.
It is depressing, yeah. But it's fun for us.
It's
to
fun
look
for
at it.
us.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
take
good
it.
times.
We'll take it.
All right, what do you got, Erin?
Well, I went kind of a different direction.
Okay.
And I just went through different things that happened in Februarys
Oh.
in the 80s and 90s that I felt like could relate.
Okay.
And then I went ahead and said, if this event got a Valentine, what the Valentine would be. And I wrote a little love poem.
Oh my God.
Okay. So this one happened in February of 1982, and I'm calling it For the Love of All That Is Holy.
Okay.
This person, if they got a Valentine, it would be a signed autograph of Joel Osteen
Ooh.
that reads, "You walked so I could run."
Oh,
Oh God.
is it the Pope?
It's close.
Is it Reagan?
No.
Oh.
I'll wait and read the poem after I tell you.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
So in 1982, in February, the Supreme Court overturned a settlement to Jerry Falwell. He was awarded $150,000 when he sued Larry Flynt and Hustler magazine for running a parody ad. In the ad that looked like a similar ad for this same alcohol at the time, Falwell discusses his first time with his mom in an outhouse.
Oh
Now, keep in mind that this is an ad, and the ad reads in small print at the bottom that it was a parody, and it also said that in the table of contents. But he was able to sue Larry Flynt and Hustler, and he got a $150,000 settlement. I went ahead and brought the ad because,
Oh, please.
visual.
Yes, that's what we need.
Because he said that people couldn't tell that it was fake, that they thought that he really had sex with his
It's
mom.
down there at the bottom.
Yeah, you'll never forget your first time. And so in this landmark Supreme Court ruling, basically they sided with Larry Flynt and Hustler and said that the First Amendment was protected in this case, even if it mocks a public official, because that's part of free speech. That's part of being able to be critical. And they said that Hustler did its job. It said it was a parody in 2 different places. And so they reversed the previous court and didn't give him the money.
Can you imagine the Supreme Court doing that today?
No.
No.
I also think it's a stretch to call Jerry Falwell a public official. Public, I'll give you public. An official? Oh.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's what I
He's
think,
a public
too.
figure, and so it's sort of open.
Yeah, and when he won this originally, he was really, touting it everywhere. Like, he brought them down, and then this was pretty landmark that the Supreme Court basically said, no, they can mock, you can mock public officials. That's part of being critical. The ad itself is phenomenal.
This is intense.
I mean, it's a fake interview where the interviewer is asking him about his first time, but supposedly it's supposed to be this first time drinking this alcohol, but it reads like it's his first time having sex.
There's a quote in here that says, "We were drunk off our God-fearing asses on Campari ginger ale and soda. That's called a fire and brimstone. And Mom looked better than a Baptist whore with $100 donation."
So
wow.
The other reason I brought this is because my love of fake marketing meetings. I love the idea.
I love it so much.
The idea that they were sitting around and this is what they came up with. And honestly, the interview itself or the ad itself isn't that great. Like, it feels like their first try. Like they were sitting around having their $10 pizza box and they were just all laughing, writing this down. And then they were like, done, we're going to do it. And then it became this huge landmark Supreme Court case. So I just decided, for Valentine's Day, we all need a little comeuppance.
And really, anytime we take a hit at Jerry Falwell is a good time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good time.
That's what I say. So for his Valentine poem, I said, roses are red, violets are blue. Here's some money. JK, it's not for you.
Okay, hang on. So we've now got fake marketing meetings basically in every episode, which I love so much. Now we need poems for like all the weirdos and the weird shit, because you're just bringing it every time.
I want to know, did Campari, that's the name of the alcohol that's in here, were they okay with this? Did they have an issue with it?
I think that I thought that I had read that they like signed off on it. Yeah, but I don't think that they were
like they
the
got
focus
that it was a
of
joke.
Yeah. Kind of like, I'm assuming this is which is odd because this was the 80s, but a little bit like SNL, where they can do like a parody of like the company wants to have an ad and then they get to do a parody of the ad. But yeah, I just, congratulations, Hustler, for doing one thing right.
Yeah. I mean, everyone needs a win, right? Yeah. Wow. It's not often we side with Hustler, but...
No, it's definitely not. And I don't want to stand up and, champion Larry Flint by any means, but I just love
a winner.
this. Yeah. February 1982, he was not having a good Valentine's Day.
Well...
He was like, people think I had sex with my mom in an outhouse. And I was like, I think that what you are really upset about is not the ad. You need to do image work if people would get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, too, is all the people that know him and care about him, like, they wouldn't have even heard about this had he not made it into a big deal. Like, they were probably not reading Hustler, and if they were, they probably wouldn't admit it.
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't say it.
So he did himself a disservice,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah. Well... That's typical, not to think too far ahead.
I also just liked that we've talked about it before with his infamous take on the Teletubbies.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. What you got next for us, Heath?
Have you ever heard of the Care Bears?
Indeed I have. Yeah. Indeed I have.
I run their fan club.
Well, in the spirit of love, I'm going to bring to you the story of the Care Bears.
Oh.
Thrust themselves onto an unsuspecting public in 1981 on American greeting cards.
Really? That's where they started?
They started on as greeting cards. They're what I would call a group of deadbeats who live together in the Kingdom of Caring, which is made up of Care-a-Lot and the Forest of Feelings.
Which sounds like a horrific place.
The
Forest of Feelings?
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere there.
If you said, hey, we're going to go camping in the Forest of Feelings. No, we're not. We're not. I got a Forest of Feelings in here I can't get through.
And the thing is, I don't think any of them have jobs. Like, I don't know who's paying who's paying the light bill over it. Care-a-Lot in the Forest of Feelings. Yeah.
It's a cult.
The 10 original bears are Bedtime Bear, Birthday Bear, Cheer Bear,
that's who I had.
Friend Bear, Funshine Bear, Good Luck Bear, Grumpy Bear, Love-A-Lot Bear, Tenderheart Bear, and Wish Bear.
It's really fucked up that they had a grumpy bear.
Uh-huh.
Because what happens as a kid when you get grumpy bear? And all the rest of them are happy.
Here, kid, this is what we think you are. And then you're
You're a
scarred for life.
Frickin' Eeyore. Here's
Yeah.
your grumpy bear.
He does well.
You had a Care Bear.
I think I maybe had Cheer Bear.
That's who I had with the rainbow on the tummy.
Maybe.
It's funny, I had Grumpy Bear.
No!
No, it tracks.
Did you pick it?
No, it was a gift. I think
Of course
my
it was.
grandma gave it to me. Yeah.
Now I want to buy Heath a different Care Bear.
Do you remember your reaction when you got it?
I was like, this is great. I love blue.
Oh my
All
god.
right, okay, that's good. I feel better about that.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, she knew. She gets it.
Yeah, she got it. She tracked you early.
Gosh.
Yeah, so each bear has a symbol on their stomach that matches their name. And most of the things on the stomach, I mean, most of the symbols are some variation of like a heart or a rainbow or a star. Again, there was kind of a lot of overlap. And their secret weapon is the Care Bear Stare, which is executed when a group of bears stand together and radiate light from their stomach, and they stare at you because they're rude.
Oh my god.
And this is a quote: "The light combines into one ray of love and good cheer, which can bring care and joy into the target's heart, break dark spells, or revive something that has been broken, wilted, or messed up."
This feels like assault, first off.
So if I stare deep in your soul, I can fix your trauma.
I can fix
Cult.
you. It
Cult.
is a cult. It's
Cult.
totally
Yes.
a cult.
Cult.
Yes.
Just the idea that if you concentrate enough, light will come out of you.
We're going to raise our vibrational frequency and we're going to heal your trauma.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's real adjacent to The Secret, where it's just like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
just say everything's fine and it'll be fine. It's got a real George
Yeah.
W. Bush mission
Oh, it
accomplished
sure
vibe
does.
to it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, it does. It does. You're right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know, this sounds like bullshit to me, but this is probably, who am I to question this group that's probably considered a religion by the government and doesn't pay taxes?
Oh my god, you're probably right.
Wait a minute. I have a follow-up question about Grumpy Bear. What does Grumpy Bear do during the Care Bear Stare?
I think he also stares, but I don't know. I feel like he's obviously not sending out the grumpiness, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
So he has rainbows in him. He just...
Right.
Or he's just the one in the group that's like, all right, let's do
Right.
it. And then light comes out of him.
Right.
Like he's lightless.
I feel like they probably just gaslight him and be like, you're not really that grumpy. You're happy. Just be happy.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Like, it's just a phase. Snap
Right.
out of it. Feel better.
Oh, it was a masterclass in
It
bearing
was.
feelings.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, poor Grumpy Bear.
No, my heart breaks for Grumpy Bear.
And for Heath.
And
Little
for
Heath. Yeah.
I just went in mercilessly on Grumpy Bear, and then he's like, that's the one I had. Okay, ouch, my bad.
But it tracks with everything we know about him and his family. It really does.
It does.
So yeah, they were a great big hit with the greeting card crowd, and 2 years later they starred in their own animated TV special called The Land Without Feelings.
That was the name of it?
Yeah, also known as My Heart.
I would much rather be in the land without feelings than the forest of feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I definitely had a phone that like you
Oh.
picked up and you push like a button, and I think there was like some kind of recording of a Care Bear or something. Like
And was it like a daily affirmation thing?
it was it was set. They only each one, but I want to say it was like you were calling the Care Bear hotline, and they were like, "Help is on the way, Care Bears."
And then help never showed up.
Yeah, and then you're just like, okay.
And then they were like, just pay us $5,000 and you can be part of the
Care
movement.
Bear, yeah. And
Give up all your earthly possessions and
Yeah.
wear this
Follow
brown
us
And
around.
smock.
move.
Yeah.
Move to the forest of
Yeah,
Seattle.
move to Tulsa.
Yeah. Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So listen, so here's the plot of The Land Without Feelings.
Okay.
A little boy named Kevin is upset because he has to move away from his friend Donna. He starts pouting and states that he does not care, and then runs away from home and finds himself in the land without feelings. This place is run by Professor Coldheart, who loves winter but hates people.
What?
He poisons Kevin and turns him into a goblin and also his slave.
What? Oh my God, this took a turn.
So Donna rounds up the Care Bears from what I assume they call the Care Bear lair, but that's what I would call it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And they go save Kevin the Goblin. When they find Kevin, they also find a bunch of other goblins that used to be kids. So Professor Coldheart is like, I don't know, a serial child kidnapper, I guess.
Yeah, he's running a traffic ring.
Yeah. So the Care Bears defeat Professor Coldheart, but it's not really clear how. Like, I haven't watched it lately, but I was reading
That's
up
fair.
on it, yeah.
Yeah.
He might have just gotten sick of their bullshit and turned himself in, because that's what I would do. I'd be like, fine, leave me the fuck alone, Care Bears.
Or they raided his pizza joint and found all those kids in the basement.
They sure did. And then YouTube videos exploded everywhere. Rabbit holes.
So then the Care Bears employ the Care Bear stare and change all the goblins back into kids. So in the end, Donna moves away anyhow, which is probably the best because Kevin kind of would always be a goblin to her, and I don't think she needs to be weighed down by that trauma.
I bet Donna saw this whole situation. She's like, dude, I didn't even like you that much.
Yeah, we're
like,
not
what
that
are
close.
you? Yeah,
We're not
what?
that close to get
What is
turned into a
this?
goblin.
Yeah.
God.
This is like, when the relationship's clearly coming to an end and someone like, it's just like, fine, I will go to Christmas with you and your family just to get through this. I will do one last thing and then we will go our
it is
separate ways.
over.
So the Care Bears first came out in 1981 and then the line was relaunched 5 times in 1991, 2002, 2007, 2012, and 2019.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that means that people love them or they don't give a shit. Because if they
Yeah.
loved them, it seems like it would keep going, but
Yeah.
but they keep bringing them back, and
It's like they keep waiting for like, okay, there's going to be a nostalgia wave. There's going to be a craze coming
And then
soon.
everyone's
We
gonna
just got to
want 'em.
time it right,
Right.
and they've never timed it right.
yeah. So that's the Care Bears, and we've established that I had Grumpy Bear, and
Yeah.
you guys had Nice Bears, and what I think is interesting though about the Care Bears too is that it was not very many things in the 80s, not very many toy lines or whatever were for boys and girls.
Yeah,
and
that's
this was
true.
sort of for
Yeah.
like whoever.
Yeah.
Obviously it was probably against some sort of local ordinance to buy the boy a pink one.
Absolutely.
You had to get like a green one or a blue one, but
Yes.
Uh-huh.
How dare you get them a pink one? Maybe that's why you got grumpy, because it was blue, and Grandma was just like, okay, at least it's a boy color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Because my brother I think he got the green one, which is like Good Luck Bear or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, from Care Bears to Everlasting Love,
Oh.
or at least so far. Now, I chose some celebrity couples that got together in the 80s or 90s and are still together.
Oh.
Defying the odds, baby. Just for a little bit of, I don't know, hope? That feels weird to say that, but something. So here's a few. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
They got together early 80s.
Uh-huh.
Keira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Early 80s. David and Victoria Beckham. Since the 90s.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance have been together since the early 80s.
What?
Like 40 some years.
That's wild.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Christopher Guest.
Uh-huh.
Oprah and Stedman.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Warren Beatty and Annette Bening got together in the 90s.
That one's especially notable, too, because before
Yes.
that, Warren Beatty was just
was a
spreading it
slut.
all over town.
Yes, he was a slutty
slutty
man.
bear.
Yeah, he was slutty bear. Mary Steenburgen and Ted Danson. They've been together a long time. And here's one that may or may not last. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been together since the 90s. Yeah, yeah.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
And a few more, but Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas.
Yeah, who thought that would last?
Seriously.
Not
And
me
Michael Douglas
either.
was, significantly older than her, and that was probably hot at the time, and now she's just with a grandpa. So I don't know how that's working, but yeah, they're still together. Steve Carell and Nancy Walls.
Oh,
Nancy
yeah.
Walls was a comedian. She was on the early Daily Show in the
Yeah,
late
she
90s.
was.
Yeah.
She was on Saturday Night Live some, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They've been together
really good.
since like mid 90s. And finally, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos.
Yep.
who are now apparently, I didn't realize this until I went to the doctor this week, hosting the Kelly show together.
Yep.
And it seems like most of it is just them like sort of witty repartee and flirting and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's very weird. I have had one occasion to watch it as well at a doctor's waiting room, and I was like, this is odd.
Also, daytime TV is odd. Morning TV. I was sitting in that waiting room like, so this stuff still exists. Like The Price is Right. It came on after Kelly and Mark. And I was waiting for, like, to get called for my blood test. And I was like, I need to go in immediately because this is grating every nerve of mine. Just seeing that people are still really into it. And they're going to tapings. And they're like, yeah!
It's like your nightmare.
Oh, it was a total nightmare. Thankfully, they called me in and took a lot of blood. And that was way better.
That was better than The Price is Right. Okay.
Yes.
I used to want to be on The Price.
Did you really?
I did.
I knew it.
Yes, but now, like as an adult, like what you described is that you have to act all totally enthused in the audience.
A lot.
Like I couldn't do that.
Okay, but what game would you want to play?
I wouldn't want to play one of the ones where it's just totally by chance.
Yeah.
Like I'd want to.
Not like the Plinko thing,
right? Yeah, where it's just you could just totally screw it up. I kind of want to do like the yodeling one. That was always kind of fun.
I like. Yeah.
What's the yodeling one?
Like you have to say the price. There's this little guy that moves up the side of the thing and he yodels, and if he falls off the mountain, then you.
Okay.
Like if you're too far off, like he goes further. So yeah, if he falls off the mountain, then you.
One thought I had too is like, wow, we are such a capitalist country that this is the height of entertainment, guessing prices of things.
I always loved though with the Showcase Showdown at the end where they'd have one that was like, there's a car and you get a trip to Europe and you get a new snowmobile and you get a 48-inch TV, and the other one's just like, you get this folding table and chairs
and a stove.
Yeah,
because I bet you don't have one of those. Good luck getting it home.
Yeah, and a hand mixer.
Yeah. It was always something really.
This showcase can be yours if the price is right. It's like, $19?
Yeah. What is it? Is that a Costco set? 21.
Also, I was intrigued to see. I mean, obviously, Drew Carey replaced Bob Barker, but there's still a lot of like just skinny, tightly clad women that are doing the thing. I was like, wow, we're still doing that. Okay.
They also have a male model, at least one, that does it because I follow him on Instagram.
Okay. Good to know. All right. So we're okay then. Yeah. As long as we,
But they serve no purpose. Like that stuff turns around and they're just like,
yeah.
I mean, there's no, like they're not actually doing anything. Not like my precious Vanna White, who's actually turning letters.
Yeah. She's doing the work.
She's doing
the work.
Don't even start with me.
Yeah. All right. You got something for us, Erin?
I do. Let me see. Where do I want to go with this?
You got so much poetry to read to us.
February 1999.
Oh.
I'm calling for the love of dry cleaning.
Oh.
If someone got this Valentine, it would be dry cleaning coupons. Because Bill Clinton was acquitted on impeachment charges, perjury, and obstruction of justice in February of 1999.
Oh, happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day. You may remember that he was acquitted after being impeached because of his relationship with an intern by the name of Monica Lewinsky. This was all based on the Ken Starr report. He was the investigator that put together the whole thing, and there's all kinds of, conspiracies and different things that happened with that report. I, as a personal attachment, remember I was working at B. Dalton, which was a subsidiary of Barnes & Noble, at the time when the Ken Starr report was published. And it was published as a book that you could buy. And I looked on Amazon, and it is still, you can still buy it. Like, it's still in print. That's how I think it gets.
Wasn't it really big?
It was really big. Yeah. And I remember when we got the shipment in, like, it was a directive. We had to make an end cap. It was a big deal. And people really were like coming in and saying, can I buy this report? And I think it's because you have, like this investigative thing, but it's also sex, right? It's also, we knew she kept the dress. We knew all these things, and people wanted the details. It had gotten so sensationalized because of Linda Tripp and, all of the things that happened that it became a really
Who gets the money from that book? Like, where does the I mean, obviously the publisher gets some.
Yeah. I don't
But who's the author?
It just says, when I looked it up on Amazon now, it just says Ken Starr and like the other investigators are the authors
he's
of
making
it.
royalties out of
I'm
it.
gonna guess, that it would
Also,
go to
I'm
him.
curious, like, if people are going in for, like, sex and, like, true crime and whatever, I bet that report was dry as hell. Like, I bet it was not written like a,
Yeah.
expose.
And I think that
and,
I think that,
some people are like, what is this shit?
Like the readers, it was dry as hell.
yeah.
Not a wet spot to be seen.
Not a one. Well, and I think that was, regardless of how you feel about the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton thing, wherever you fall on that, I think that it was one of the first times that something that was published as a book that you could buy. And I think it was a concerted effort from the right wing to say, like, oh, look at this. Don't you want to find out all this information? I mean, because nothing like that's really ever happened again. No one has that level of interest. Because I remember working and thinking, is people really going to come in and buy this book? Like, we're taking all this time to set it up. And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess so. Like,
I wonder if all the money is funding, like, all the super PACs now. You know,
probably. Yeah, you're probably right. And I think it can be said that, this was a little bit before the 24-hour news cycle. I mean, we were headed in the direction, but it wasn't like it is now. And so I think that there was more of a call to, like, I want to get that information. You didn't have talking heads 24 hours a day telling you everything in the report. So it was a lot more interesting. Yeah. So he also famously had 18 boxes of evidence and notes that he used that he dropped off for the impeachment Ken Starr did. Which is why my poem reads, roses are red, violets are blue. Here's a box of indiscretions Ken Starr dropped off for you.
I don't want that box.
No one wants that box.
We need to get more poetry from Aaron on a regular basis. I need to figure out a way for you to do this because this is pretty great.
Well, as a side note, I mentioned this before we started recording that I wrote them as limericks at first because my grandpa, when he was alive, used to write me limericks all the time. And then I would write limericks back about just different topics. Yeah. And so that was like what I started doing at first. And then I realized, that's a lot of... Limericks are longer.
They're longer, and they're usually
poems.
Dirty, so that's interesting.
Yeah, they were just funny. He never really made them dirty, but... I
hope not.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, you want to start our last round?
Yeah, I'll take us home. Take us home. You may both recall a celebrity superstar couple from the 1990s named Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise.
Oh, my God.
They were married on Christmas Eve in 1990. And while I can tell by your reaction, you probably feel the same way I do. I know that they were married. I know this to be a true fact, but it seems so it just feels like an urban legend to me.
Yes.
They seem like they are on different planets. Like the idea that these two were together for 10 years seems so strange
and it's
to
like
me.
no one talks about it anymore. Like it's
right.
And Scientology probably has something to do with that.
Yeah, just their current public personas. Like I just feel like, her star has kind of risen because she's so talented and she seems smart and she seems funny and she seems kind, and he just seems like a super controlling dick.
Yes.
Like who's intentionally releases audio tracks of him yelling at somebody about not wearing a mask, and it's like, clearly, dude, you did this on purpose. Like everyone knows you don't let people have phones on the set. So I don't know. So anyway, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Let's break it down.
Oh, let's do.
So they got married the year after he got divorced from Mimi Rogers, which is again.
Yes.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
That was all the 80s. Yeah.
What?
That's a pairing that I had forgotten about.
Oh, my.
They met on the set of the 1990 film Days of Thunder, where he played...
Classic cinema, everyone.
He played race car driver Cole Trickle, and she played Dr. Claire Lewicki, a neurosurgeon that Cole Trickle meets when he's recovering in the hospital after an accident. Mm-hmm. They start a relationship, which to me feels like a clear violation of the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah.
But love is love, all that shit. But my favorite part of that movie, and I think of this more often than is probably healthy, is when they're in the car. He's driving, and they're having an argument or a disagreement or something, and he's like going really, really fast, and she just starts yelling, "Stop the car, Cole! Stop the car! Stop the car, Cole! Stop the car!" And like if you say it enough, it's almost calming, right? It's like a chant.
Oh yeah, it's like a mantra.
Right,
yeah.
Oh. So yeah, but when they got married, she was only 23 and he was 28.
Wow.
Wow, they were
Wow,
still
they
so
were so
young.
Yes.
young.
Yeah. And besides Days of Thunder, they starred in 2 other movies together.
they
Far
sure
and Away
did. Mm-hmm.
came out in 1992 and Eyes Wide Shut in
Oh,
1999.
yes, it did.
I forgot about Eyes Wide Shut. Wow.
And I know Far and Away isn't a horror movie.
I've seen that a number of times.
But yeah, Tom Cruise's attempt at an Irish accent is the
Real
shit
bad.
nightmares are made of.
Real bad.
I'd rather listen to bagpipes for 24 hours a day than listen to him try to speak with an Irish accent. And the thing is I mean, I get, like, I don't know why someone, when they're making the movie, didn't just say, just forget it. Like, people will go with it, like, because it was distracting. Like, it was so obvious that he was doing it poorly. That
It was like Kevin Costner in the Robin Hood movie.
Oh, yeah.
Where that accent came and went, and people were just like, fuck it, it's Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
People will come.
we'll let it
People
slide.
will come. Yeah.
So they got divorced, obviously, in 2001. And they said it was because their busy careers were constantly keeping them apart, and they claimed it to be amicable. I think everyone kind of agrees that it's because Nicole Kidman wouldn't join the Church of Scientology, which is weird that she got 10 years into that, and she was still saying, no, thank you. And they hadn't stopped something, they hadn't done something about it sooner. And I frankly, I didn't know you couldn't choose to not join the Church of Scientology. I thought it was more like a kidnap sitch. Like, they got you in the building.
Well,
It felt like it was with Katie Holmes.
I feel like there was, at least in like the Going Clear and stuff, when they talked about Tom Cruise, that he took a hard turn into it in the last couple years of their marriage, which is what really made the division. Was like,
because
he
they were like
wasn't-
blowing him up. They were like, you
and
were
then
our
he became like the
spokesperson.
poster child
Yeah.
and like really bought in. Like it was like a thing he kind of did, and then he was like all in, and she was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Right. Yeah. Again, that's culty. Like the Care Bears. It's
Yeah.
very culty. Allegedly, the Church of Scientology tapped Nicole Kidman's phone near the end of their marriage when...
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
you
I'm
just
sure
said.
they did.
Because they thought she was kind of pulling him away from the church.
Which she very well could have been. She could have
Yeah.
been like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she seems like a reasonable person that would be like,
Yeah.
this is not healthy. This is not the move, Tommy. So yeah, since they divorced, Tom Cruise has gone on to marry and divorce Katie Holmes. And Nicole Kidman married Keith Urban in 2006, and they're still married today.
Still married.
Yeah.
Yep. And then those poor adopted kids have just disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yeah,
Because they adopted, like Tom and Nicole adopted two
but
kids.
they did
Isabella and Connor?
Yeah.
There was a lot of speculation. Like, more came out about the kids when Katie Holmes was divorcing him, because there was a lot of speculation that Nicole Kidman behind the scenes helped Katie Holmes and was like, you need to get your daughter out or you're going to lose your kid. Because the Scientology, they'll come in and they'll basically make it so that they won't speak to you, which is
I
what
like
happened.
that story. I hope that's true.
What happened with her adopted kids is that they just don't speak to her because they're in Scientology.
Yeah, it feels like Nicole Kidman was the winner of that situation. She came out, I mean, she doesn't get to talk to her kids, but she came out alive. Her career, blew up, and he looks like a fucking nutbag.
Yeah.
Went on to do the Oprah couch
Yep,
moment.
still, forever, and always.
Yeah.
I do have a kind of 2 degrees of separation story about Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
I used to work at an ad agency I used to work at. We worked on a account that did replacement windows and doors for homes, and we had to go to their headquarters, and we had to go to window school is what they called it, and we had to spend a couple of days just learning like intensely about their product, because then we could market
God,
it
that
better.
sounds so fun.
Yes.
That sounds ridiculous.
And so one of the stories, one of the guys that was leading it had worked at the branch that's in Colorado, near Aspen. And he told us a story about how he went to an appointment at a house in Aspen to do some measurements and talk to them about replacing some windows. And when he got there, Nicole Kidman answered the door. He was at Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise's house.
Whoa.
And, I'm 50-50 on whether or not this really happened. It seems like Nicole Kidman probably wouldn't answer her own door to get replacement windows. That's not for that. It seems like they probably have somebody like a building manager that would do that. But he said she walked him around, and he would measure things, and she was asking questions, and she was engaged, and she was kind and friendly. But he said the whole time Tom Cruise was like 20 feet away, like kind of listening, like he wanted to know what was going, like almost eavesdropping, but that he was real reclusive and didn't really engage, and he was kind of rude.
This all sounds right.
But
yeah.
but then he wanted to know what was going on, but he did not want to be engaged. You know.
I don't know if the story's right, but it feels right.
Yeah.
There's a great, if you haven't read, it's a pretty good book. I recommend Seth Rogen's yearbook. Like the one he wrote, humorous essays just about things that have happened in his life. And he has a story about meeting Tom Cruise, like going to Tom Cruise's house for the first time for a meeting on a movie. And it's pretty great. Just that kind of, I mean, very similar. Yep. Like a reclusive, weird, like you invited me here, but you're being really off-putting.
Yes. Yeah. I used to work with a guy who, his brother is Joseph Kosinski, who directed Tom Cruise in Oblivion and directed Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick. And he's from Marshalltown. He's from Iowa. And he told a story once that his brother just had to hang up on Tom Cruise because Tom Cruise was just they were having a phone call, and apparently Tom Cruise was just losing his goddamn mind about some decision with something on, I think it was on Oblivion, and he just apparently his brother was just like, "Listen, buddy, I'm gonna hang up. You can take some time. You can pull it together, and when you're ready to just like have a calm conversation about this, we can do it." It's wild. I mean, Me Too's happened and all that stuff, but these celebrities just act like fucking lunatics on sets, and there's so many people witnessing it. It doesn't seem like
stop it.
Right, like it ever really comes out, or they ever face any repercussions because of it.
And I hate how on talk shows, whenever there's someone that has starred with Tom Cruise somewhere, they'll just gush about Tom Cruise and this cake that he makes all of his co-stars and what a wonderful friend he is and how lovely. And it feels almost like they go at it so hard. It feels always like damage control. I didn't realize that it probably is because he's an asshole on set, but it always struck me wrong, you know?
They probably signed something. They're just Tom Cruise will pay you $50,000 if you go on Jimmy
buy
Kimmel.
You this cake that
it's probably part of signing on to the thing. Is that part of your press tour? You have to talk about how great Tom Cruise is. Yeah. Which is weird. Like, why are we continuing to try to rehab his image? Like, we all get it. We all know what we're dealing with at this point. Like, you know, that's,
Oh, what a nice blast from the past.
Yeah. That is a nice blast from the past.
Well, my final item is a movie that I didn't talk about in our 1987 episode, but should have. It kind of feels like it was the start of a certain kind of comedy that I like, as well as maybe a definition of love that I like.
Oh, is this where old people fall down?
No. Nope. I'm falling and I can't get up. Nope, not that. It's Princess Bride.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it's got everything. It's got pirates. It's got a rhyming wrestler. It's got a guy that keeps saying inconceivable wrong. It's got Fred Savage in Columbo. It's got a six-fingered man. It's got rodents of unusual size. It's got a pit of fucking despair.
That's what you should have led with.
And anchoring it all is the love story between a farmhand and a young woman named Buttercup, which always still makes me laugh. There's plot-wise, it's real thin. All right, it's that it's that Wesley is a farmhand. Buttercup is like the daughter of the house. Whatever. They fall in love. It's instant. It's true love. It's all the things. But then he goes away to try to make money for them, and he is killed by the dread pirate Roberts. Fast forward a few years later, she's caught the eye of the prince. He, they are engaged. They're going to be married. And then she gets kidnapped by the guy that says inconceivable wrong, as well as Andre the Giant and Inigo Montoya. And then she's rescued by what seems to be the dread pirate Roberts. But it's Wesley in disguise. And then they're back in love. But then she has to find a way to get out of this marriage. He's kidnapped again, sent into the pit of despair. He's just a punching bag for much of the movie.
He really
There's
is.
hijinks galore. And all of this is framed around a young man in our time who is sick in bed, and his grandpa comes over to read him a book. And so it's got Columbo, basically, like Peter Falk, obviously, narrating the whole thing. And Fred Savage at first saying, it's a book about kissing, gross. And then by the end, he's really into it, of course.
I forgot that detail. How did I forget that detail? About
How dare you?
Yeah.
And I knew from the moment I saw the TV trailer that this was going to be my movie. Because in the TV trailer, I don't know if you guys saw it or remember, there's like a image of Count Rugen and Inigo Montoya. They're facing off in a hallway. And it's like, all right, here we go. And then Count Rugen turns around and runs the opposite direction. And I was like, oh, I want this. Like, I think this is going to be for me. And so when you combine just weirdo humor with crazy characters, playing it straight, and a very sweet romance, this is my kind of love. This is what I recommend for Valentine's Day.
That's a good one. That's a great movie recommendation for Valentine's Day.
It's,
really.
And also Mandy Patinkin playing Inigo Montoya. We've got Robin Wright. This was her first major role. We've got Carrie Yules. We've got all sorts of people. Christopher Guest. Yeah. He's the six-fingered man.
Billy Crystal,
Andre the Giant.
Carol Kane.
Wallace Shawn, Carol Kane, yes. It's just packed full. It's a delight.
It's a delight.
And it's so weird. And I love it.
It's a good one. I forgot all about that.
I could quote a lot of lines to you right now. We're not going to do it.
Oh, all right. Well, if it was Heath, he would do it.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
It's my new favorite thing.
Arrangement. Yeah.
To take you guys saying something and then the actual clip and merging them together in a post. My most favorite as of late was the Gem and the Hologram of him singing the train song. And then me listening to the train song and being like, that is almost dead on. And then I had to make it into, if you missed it on social media, you need to go back. Because I made it a post where it just sort of fades into the actual train song from Heath's rendition.
By the way, I forgot to say that after that episode aired, Michael, your husband, texted me, who you said this was his favorite song, and he's like, this was the best episode yet. And then he said, hashtag taking a train.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. That's a good one.
All right, what's our final one, Erin?
Okay, well, I'm calling this one. It happened in February of 1988. And I think it's something that's endured. I think that we're well aware of the term catfish. And I think this sort of relates around the holiday of love, that you need to be careful about who you get in a relationship with. So I'm calling this one for the love of crime. And if this person, if you were going to get a Valentine for them, it would be a one-way ticket to a country with no extradition treaty. Because
that's a good gift for everybody. What are you talking about? Yeah.
This is the year, the month, the time that America's Most Wanted premiered on Fox, February 1988, which the host, John Walsh, it had reenactments with actors that were interspersed with on-air interviews about the crime. And then obviously a number you could call. They are, as of late, or as of time of this recording, more than 1,000 fugitives have been caught thanks to that show.
Damn.
It's gone through a lot of iterations. Like, it's been on different networks, different hosts, but it's John Walsh and his son are back doing it now again. His son Connor, not
the one that didn't die. Yeah.
But this stuck out to me because I remember the show, and I remember I was terrified of this show, which is weird to think that now I love true crime as much as I do. But I remember this because the way that my brain works is that I see that fugitive everywhere after I would watch the show. So I would see that person, and then we would be, say, at the grocery store, and I'd be like, holy shit, that's the guy. And I would be silently freaking out in my, 6-7-year-old body, being like, somebody's gonna call the police. I can't be the one to do it. They're gonna take me seriously. They're not gonna believe me. God. And I'd be like, hoping that someone else, wherever I was, saw it. So I realized at an early age, I need to limit my intake of America's Most Wanted. So if there was a poem for America's Most Wanted, it would be, roses are red, violets are blue. This is a collect call from prison for you.
I'm telling you, you have a talent for this.
Yeah, killing it.
Yeah.
Also, Jewel.
Also, you know how either last episode or the one before, you said it would be right to see little me as a cartoon character.
Yeah.
I feel like that scene right there with you in the shopping center. Oh my God, that's a cartoon right there.
And
that's it.
I remember being like sweaty and being, I don't even know if I can bring this to my parents. They're gonna think I'm insane. Like, just the
spot on.
Pure responsibility that I was carrying around, that somehow I'm the only one that saw this America's Most Wanted fugitive. And it would happen again and again. The next week I'd hear a news story and I'd be like, they all live in Iowa. Oh my God. It is not safe here. just clutching my cheer bear, hoping that I didn't get kidnapped across state lines.
If you had a grumpy bear, they'd be like, we don't want that kid.
Yeah.
See, and that was just a protection your grandma was giving you.
And you with the grumpy, with the grumpy bear, you don't see the criminals everywhere.
No.
You see true vision. Whereas Cheer Bear was like, oh.
Care Bear stare. And I'm like, you can't help me, Cheer Bear.
Your eyes aren't real.
Yeah. Care Bear stare isn't going to stop this guy. Also, can you imagine the number of kids, sorry, this is jumping back a topic, but that tried to do like Care Bear stare on the playground and just got mercilessly beat up for it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, it should be pointed out staring's rude.
It is. Yeah. It's very uncomfortable.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, you know how there's so many romantic tropes around just romance, but also around Valentine's Day. And the idea that when you're in love with someone, like staring into each other's eyes deeply is a sign of love. That is fucking gross. That is repulsive.
Hot take.
So my advice to you is if you're facing down on Valentine's Day, don't do the staring thing. That's gross.
If you're doing that, I feel like you're either looking to see whether or not you think I have been up to something.
Exactly.
Or we don't have anything to say. And
or I have something like a growth in my eye and you've discovered it and you're afraid to tell me. Well, here's hoping you have a Valentine's Day that's fine.
Yeah.
Neutral.
I mean, you got a new episode of the show, so
You
that's
sure did.
better than
That's
last
all you
year.
need.
That's all you need. Yeah. That is all you need.
Now, if you just want to send us a check for cash, then we have done our job.
Again, to cash.
Yeah,
Yes.
to cash.
To
That's
cash.
right.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll see you next time. Fuzzy Memories is a Broads and Books production. It's hosted by Heath Smith, Aaron Johnston, and Amy Lee Lillard. The show is produced by Amy Lee Lillard. Follow us at Fuzzy Memories Pod on Instagram for clips and highlights. And follow us at Broads and Books Productions for updates on new shows coming your way. See you next time.
God, I hope that this is okay.
We're going to make it okay. I think all of us are bringing different things to the table.
Okay.
So it's a hodgepodge. We don't know what's going on. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how people are going to celebrate Valentine's Day. They're going to listen to us and then make love.
That's exactly what we want.
For some reason, I didn't like that. I did not like that. I don't know why. I just was like,
Get okay with it. Don't
yeah,
get rude.
like us as an aphrodisiac seems.
Look, everybody has different stuff, you know.
That's
Everybody's
true.
different
If
kinks.
it's the sound of our voices is doing it for you, I guess
then
embrace
keep
the
going.
time.
Keep
I
going.
think we should invite people to tell us their stories.
Tell
they're
us how
making
we
love while they're
turn
listening
you
to us.
on.
Yeah. Oh God. We turned into shock jocks.
And then we'll have sound effects.
Yeah.
Oh.
You in actual sense, and I went like cartoon.
Boing.
Swing.
That's it. Yep.
That's better. I like that. I like that better.